Welcome back to week 2 of the Success Series. I just want to thank all of you for the really kind messages I've received, the heartfelt emails. They've just meant so much to me, and I'm passing on those messages to our guests that have let me interview them. And I really want to give thanks to them for spending the time, being open and transparent with us. I just appreciate that so much. And if you haven't subscribed, go to optimizesuccesscoaching.com and subscribe to these podcast series. It's just amazing. And we're sending out replays and we're having drawings each week. So sign up if you haven't. Wow, what a week it's been to look back on all the guests. I have so many things that I've pulled from them, so many notes. The different perspectives are amazing. I am just fired up and beginning to implement already some of the tips that they have shared. My daughter, Alexandria Garza, oh my gosh, that was just so fun to interview her. And I'm definitely proud mama bear listening back to it. She's always been just a take charge type of person. And I knew from a very young age that she would be so successful. A couple of things I pulled from her that I just love is get over yourself and do it. She said some of the best videos she's ever created were videos she just did on the fly. And I think so often we worry. We just worry what others will think. And we put too much thought into worrying what they're thinking, and they're probably not thinking anything. And she's like, get over it and just do it. Another big thing she mentioned is, I think, really important, and we all could take a step back and look at this, is your brand and your goal aligned? Are they in the same direction? She said she opened her store Good to Be, and they started selling clothes. And I remember when she was creating the name Good to Be, it was like, actually, I think her sister Francesca came up with the name, and she was like, I love it. That stands for everything I want to say, I want to do, good to be athletic, good to be active, good to be a woman, good to be empowered. Like, there's so many things that go along with that. And then when she said she created the clothing store, but that it was just a clothing store and it didn't really align with the Good to Be brand and what she stood for. So then she switched it to more leisure wear and taking care of yourself and inspirational messages on the t-shirts. I love that. She didn't come out and say this from her stories in these exact words, but she knew when to pivot. She knew when to pivot and change direction, and that's so crucial. Do you need to pivot right now? Do you need to change direction? I know we can't move an entire ship immediately, but we can definitely change direction, and I think it's so important that everything is aligned in what you're trying to do. So I just obviously loved her interview. Tina Black made her business her ministry. Wow. That puts a whole different perspective on things. She went from writing a suicide note to now owning all these schools and salons and making it her ministry. What a change. I love how dedicated she is to give back to all the people she's around every day. I can remember when we did that interview, and I think it was right before the holidays, and I got done, and I cried after that interview with her, and I don't know if she knows that, but I became pretty emotional with her story and what she shared, and I think it reminded me of a time when it was back during that financial meltdown in 2008, and my husband and I both worked for the same company. And we owned like a franchise of the company. So you had to, invest all the money up front. You had to buy everything from the equipment, the IT equipment, the furniture, the lease. Everything was in your name. And everything was just going so well. About 2 a.m. one morning, we get a phone call. The company, the parent company that we had the franchise, went bankrupt. And they were closing the doors. And I remember just being numb. I went to the office that next day, and I had to tell everybody, all these people that, worked here, and their families would be affected. And we had to share that bad news with them. And that was probably one of the lowest days in my life. But what was interesting about that time too is that everyone kept working. Everyone kept working. So if you walked around that office that day it's just kind of human behavior. You don't know what to do, so you just keep doing what you were doing. And here, no one left. No one said, oh, well, I'm going home now. Everyone just kept wanting to be around each other and talk about it and what are we going to do and what's our next plan. And, many of us lost everything. We lost everything. And I remember saying that, like, oh, we're losing everything. We've lost everything. And my husband's like, no, we haven't. No, we haven't. We have our health. We have our family. This is just business, and we can always earn more money. And that was so true. There were so many lessons, emotions, and challenges. But I wish when I was rebuilding and going through that, I could have heard Tina Black and that she made her business her ministry. That would have helped. It definitely would have helped at that time. And obviously we got through it, and we've learned a lot, and we're much stronger as a result of that. And I am thankful that, it was something with business and not with health. But I'm going to look at business as a ministry going forward. We're serving every single day. And I want to think, how can I serve more? How can I serve more? So I just love that. Bill Cosgrove, CEO of Union Home Mortgage, Bedford, Ohio high school graduate, built a multi-billion-dollar company. I loved his thoughts on so many things. I know Bill very well, and I've learned so much from him over the years. I liked how he said, have singular focus. You must have singular focus. We definitely need to have that vision to create that singular focus, but I liked his thoughts on that. I also really love his advisory board. His advisory board is all different people from all different companies, where he taps into their genius, and he gets their ideas and their input on things. And so often we get caught up in our own industry and think, well, this is what we have to do, and we network and we hang out with everyone in our own industry. But the fact that he, at a very young age, created this advisory board and still, has it going full speed today is just amazing. Are you seeing a through line with all of them? I certainly am. I can wait, but at the end of all this, I want to share some things that I've pulled that all of them have in common, and I've definitely seen it really strong, and I wonder if you are. Melinda, the beauty broker. I admire her passion for the industry. She's owned several different companies, but all related to the beauty world. Something that I really admire about her is she too really had to let go of what people think. It's such a controversial industry, right? With plastic surgery. I think everyone has opinion on it. Either they're for it or against it, or it seems like a lot of commentary around it. And so she really had to not worry what people thought and just keep building. And she's obviously just done so well with that, with her reputation and her vision. I just really respected that. Beth Holden Graves. Beth, who does that? Who Googles how to make $1 million and then does it? Oh my gosh. I loved her story, her energy, everything about her. I'm spending time with her at the end of the month at a retreat. There's actually 12 of us together to mastermind, and I just am looking forward to spending time with her. She and I are going to actually get there early to hang out. And, we met and if you've listened to the interview, you heard that we met in like a Facebook community. And then she started, messaging me. And initially, I don't know, my guard went up. I'm like, is this okay? Is this safe? What's going on? And then, after a few messages back and forth, I realized I know her mom and dad. They live in our neighborhood. And then I just loved her even more for reaching out and being so open and sharing everything. But something I really loved that she does is a virtual retreat. A virtual retreat. Friday night, grab a glass of wine and join me in this retreat. How amazing is that? How creative. I mean, I love that. And then also how she finds one thing that could help somebody. She shared the story about the gentleman that was retired and on a pension, and she told him about her anti-inflammatory vitamin, or I think it was a vitamin or something, and he loved it. And then she said, just start telling your friends. And now he's earning this income and selling just this one thing that helps him and helps all his friends. Can you break your business down to one thing that could help someone and just focus on that one thing? It really reminds me of coaching salespeople. When I talk to them, so often they want scripts and what do you say when you call somebody and how do you answer when they ask this? And they really kind of get caught up in what should I say when I make that call? Like, especially around cold calling and things like that. And I always say the answer's simple. Just have great questions. Have great questions. And I think that's got to be some of her strategy, to zero in and find that one thing that's going to help that person. You got to ask some really great questions and know how you can add value that way. Ginger Z. She's so interesting. The one big thing that stood out with her interview with me is that when she pulled up to be on ABC, Good Morning America, she had thought, I made it. I made it. This is it. This is what I worked my whole life for. And then quickly realized that was only the beginning. That was only the beginning. How many of us have this ceiling that we think when we get to here, we've made it? No, no, no. I think it was John Maxwell that says, it's not how long will it take me, it's how far can I go? How far can you go? Don't have that glass ceiling. We have one more week in this series, and I'm so excited for it. We have some really good guests lined up this week, too. We have Cyndi Garza, who is my other daughter. She's a social media influencer, CEO of her own company. I can't wait for you to hear her story. Her company is full of joy, and when you hear her, you will know why it's named Full of Joy. She is joyful. Dr. Nazarian, oh my gosh, she's next week too. I just love her. She's actually this weekend doing a big Think Big summit, and her guest keynote speaker is Kris Jenner. And she is a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills, where she doesn't receive many referrals. Nobody likes to share who their surgeon was. And so she's going to share with us how she builds a practice without that. I also have another networking guru on here that she and her husband are making millions with this network marketing. And she shares with us her story, a little bit different than Beth's, but I think you'll find it really interesting. Shonda Sumner, she owns Heartcore Business and has just created this huge coaching company that I think you will love her perspective on things. And then I have Megan Brooks, #1 insurance agency out of Ohio. And oh my God, you're going to love her energy. She is so fun. I will talk to her, and things that we say on that call or that she says on that call, I will think about it for 2 weeks later and just still keep laughing. So I know you'll love that. So it's a great lineup this next week. I'd love to hear what you would like to hear more of. I have a lot of requests on parenting, on marriage, and on leadership, but what could help you? What would you like to hear more about? We're going to go back after next week to once a week with the podcast, but I would love to hear what would be important for you. We have such a fun year planned. I can't wait to share it with all of you. Thank you again. I wish you all the best. God bless, and please subscribe today.